What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. As always, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, leave them down below in the comment section of this video and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. But without further ado, let's get right on into this video. For the big question coming in from Sleepy asking, is Lego for play or display? And personally, I think that the big draw of Lego is that it can be for both. It can be both displayed and it can also both be played with. Now for me, I tend to be more on the displaying side. All my shelves, have a bunch of Lego that I have for display, but I also do play with it. I build mocks and I do a lot of different things with it. And I think that is the best part about Lego is that you can display it and you can also play with it. Now, I don't think that there's necessarily one clear-cut answer for this. I think definitely with most of the sets that are literally called play sets being for play, and then others like the 18 plus and the UCS sets being pretty obviously aimed toward being displayed and not played with. But I can see arguments for both, but personally I think that the best thing about Lego is that it can be used for both play and display, and it's not strictly for one or another. Mr. Star Wars asks, with the UCS Death Star releasing in October for $1,000, what other sets in that price range would I like to see? And personally, I think that price range is a little bit out of my price range. I don't think I'm going to be able to buy that Death Star at $1,000, nor any other set that Lego releases at that price. But I do agree that there are some really cool opportunities to get some sets at that price range. For example, I think the Jedi Temple would be perfect. I think that's a set that really realistically could not be made for anything less than $1,000, unless it's like some dumbed down playset kind of based off of like Yavin 4 kind of or something like that. But I don't think that would do the Jedi Temple justice. I think get $1,000 UCS Jedi Temple and it would be so cool. It would sell probably, no, I don't know if it would sell great being $1,000, and I probably wouldn't be able to buy it. Maybe I'd be able to save up some money and purchase it, but I do think that the UCS Jedi Temple would be sick in that same like $1,000 price range, and I think if Lego was to make it, it would have to be in that $1,000 price range. I can't really think of any other ship that would warrant being $1,000. Maybe if they do like the Super Star Destroyer, I don't know, like I can't think, like even if they do like one of the big kind of capital ships, like the Mon Calamari ships or something else, maybe like the I don't think they would do like an invisible hand or anything like that for the droids, but if they did, I don't think that that would be $1,000 unless they made it massive. I think $1,000 is going to already, cut out a ton of options for people to buy it, so it's really only appealing to the very like top of the people that like Lego that are going to fork over that $1,000 for a set. So I don't know if it's something that they're going to do often. I do think, when we get the remake for the UCS Falcon, they might try and make it that $1,000, beef it up. I forgot how much the other one went for, but maybe judging by inflation, we're almost already at that $1,000, because I know for some of the $800 ones, $850 ones, we are kind of already at that they would have been $1,000 in today's money. But I am curious to see if Lego continues to put sets at this price point, and I am curious to see what they end up making, because I think it leaves a lot of opportunities for a lot of cool things, and I'm very excited to see what they end up doing with this. Says, why do I have two versions of Hera in my Rebels collection, and don't I still need a couple of the other figures? And yes, as for the second part, I still do need quite a few different figures. However, I do have most of the expensive ones like Ahsoka, Thrawn, Sabine with the helmet, Zeb, the different versions of Kanan, and some of the other stuff going on. And when it comes to Hera, I do have two versions of her in that case normally, and that's because of something that I'll see if you can find out. Now, there is a big difference between, well, maybe not a big difference, but there is a difference between these two Heras, and I'm going to see if you guys can see it before I tell you. So let me know down below in the comments if you do see it. You probably can't actually, because the back is not illuminated very well, but let me move the light over and I will show you what I mean. The reason that I have two versions of Hera is that they're actually not the same minifigure. One is a variant or a misprint. You can see right here, the one on the left is the very common one where that box is printed, and on the right I have a version where there is no box. Now, my friends, a while back, who is a big collector for Star Wars Rebels and a lot of other stuff, and he also looks into different variants and misprints, and he was telling me about the no box Hera that he had discovered, he had found, and then, me being very interested in Star Wars Rebels and also liking the look and collect some of the more niche things from Lego Star Wars, it was something that interested me, so I went on a hunt to find one, and I ended up buying one on eBay like 2 or 3 months ago now. I think probably about 2 months ago, I would say, and it's something that I've never really seen anyone other than him talk about, so I think it's something that's pretty cool, something that I don't really see going around, and I don't know if it's a misprint or a variant or anything like that. Now, I think it could very well be a misprint, but I've seen a fair share of them, and it'd be a very oddly misprint if it was that common, but it very well could be. And if it's a variant, then I don't know like what's behind it. I don't know. When I've seen them for sale, they've been in like random lots or also just like the straight up minifigure, and I've seen that there isn't the box there. It's not like people are specifying. So I don't know where they come from, but I have to say it probably has to do, one of the factories when they were printing them, just didn't get the box on the back, and those are the ones that made it into some of the sets, and that's how they are here today. But I've only seen like 3 or 4 on sale on eBay for like the past couple of months that I've been looking. And I paid this one the same that I would pay for, actually I think I paid less. I think I paid less than what the figure was actually worth for this one, which is really cool. And it's just something very interesting to see and collect, something that's different that no one really talks about or knows about. And I think it's definitely something cool to add to the Star Wars Rebels collection, as it is a different variant in my eyes. Yes, it may not be something like the black-haired Kanan that's like classified on Bricklink as being different, but it is something that has some variation, and I think is really cool to have in the collection, and it's something very unique because it's not something that anyone else really talks about or collects. MCS, do I think that we'll ever get buildable figures of characters such as B2EMO, SM33, Jar Jar Binks, Huyang, or the Super Battle Droid? And I think that this is definitely a very big possibility, especially now in this coming like 2025. We're getting the buildable B1 Battle Droid, we're getting the buildable K2SO, and also the buildable Ewok. So I think it's definitely something that LEGO's looking into making more of. And I know we also got the buildable Droideka and other stuff like that in the past, like R2-D2 and C-3PO. So it's something that LEGO is definitely trying to do. And I think it really all just depends on how these sets sell. I think if they sell well, they're going to continue to make different droids, different characters, different stuff like that. Now, I don't know if they would per se do a Jar Jar Binks. I know we got the Brickhead, but I don't know if that's a set that they would do. I do think a Super Battle Droid is very likely. I think Huyang also could be pretty likely if Ahsoka. Is Ahsoka coming back for another season? I'm not sure. I didn't finish the first season yet. But if it does, and he is still also apparent in that show, then I think that it's a possibility to see him as well. And I do think that LEGO will definitely be doing more with it in the future. And as for your second part of the question, asking if you think that we could see a Commander Doom or a Mayday in LEGO, I think Commander Doom would be sick. I think Commander Doom, as well as his troops, have a super cool design, and I think that the color scheme with the green looks great. I don't know if it's something that LEGO would personally do. However, I do think that it is more likely than seeing Mayday. Now, Mayday has such a cool design. I think the whole character as well from the Bad Batch is sick, but it just doesn't look like we're going to be getting any more Bad Batch sets anytime soon, or just at all in general. So unfortunately, I don't think that we will see a Mayday, which is such a shame. He had such a cool design, such a cool character, very sad. And I do think that the Bad Batch was great, and we're definitely missing out on so many sets, not getting any more sets based on the Bad Batch. I guess we still could get a one-off in the future, but it's not looking likely. And as for Commander Doom, I do think that there is a possibility, but I think it is just still pretty niche, and I think that LEGO would go for some of the other different named clones and different clone legions before they make a Doom, but it's not to say that it couldn't happen in the future, and I hope it does because he is such a cool design. CO5 Gaming 9 asks, what ideas would I have for the LEGO Droideka, as well as what are my thoughts on the different kinds of Droidekas? And I 100% agree with you. I think ever since the first Droidekas, every single time that we've gotten them since have just been a downgrade after downgrade. And personally, to start off, I'm not even really a big fan of the buildable Droidekas. I think the Droideka has such a cool design, but it's just something that isn't easily captured with LEGO bricks because of how intricate these shapes and different kind of functions are. Now, I do think it would be sick to get some sort of molded head to get the different shapes, and also get just the overall shapes done right on the Droideka, but I don't think that LEGO is going to invest so much in different molds just for the Droideka when it is kind of more of a niche battle droid, and when they can just throw in their B1s in every set. Why make a new innovation to droids? Because LEGO, they kind of like to take the lazy way out when it comes to the droids, but I do think that the Droidekas are super sick, and if done right by LEGO, they could be great, and some of the greatest droids that we've ever seen. I've seen some custom ones online that have looked pretty good, but I just don't know if it's something that LEGO is going to put more time, focus, and money on when, they're already getting away with what they're doing now. So I do think it would be cool to see an innovation to the Droideka, but I think honestly the most we can hope for is just to get, their old builds back into some of these sets. Now, I don't know what sets the Droideka would go into, because especially for Star Wars media right now, it's not something that is super prevalent. You don't really see it much. Yes, we see it in the previous shows, like the Clone Wars, you see it in some of the movies, but other than that, it's been kind of void from the different stuff. But I think if we did see it again, I don't know if it would change. I think honestly it would be just like the minifigure that came with the buildable Droideka. I feel like it would be exactly that. But however, I do think it would be cool to get some innovation. And as for the different types of Droidekas, I do agree. I think the Sniper Droidekas are really cool, but personally I think my favorite is just the base Droideka. I think they're sick, as well as the Blaster blaster sounds being really cool. And with the shield, I think it's a sick droid and I would love to see LEGO make it again. However, I don't think they're going to do much to change it. Michael S. What said what I want them to remake that they have not done before or have yet to remake, and I agree with you. First off, I think the Battle of Geonosis is something that everyone has wanted for a long time, and we just haven't got. Even if it is like some sort of battle or different thing like that, or if it is the arena, I think for me personally, I think the arena would be the best option. It would be really cool. It's something that fans have wanted for so long, and especially with LEGO doing some more like expensive sets right now and more like bigger like play set kind of things, I think now is the perfect time to get a set like the Battle of Geonosis, and I have no doubt that it would be very well loved by fans. Now, for your second being the Battle of Exile, I'm not sure if I just pronounced that right, but I do think that would also be cool. Personally, I know that a lot of people hate on the sequels. I don't think that they're as bad. There's some bad parts to them, I will say, but I enjoyed them when I saw them. Like they were a fun watch, and I do think that this would be a pretty cool set to get. Maybe one that a lot of people wouldn't be interested in, but I'd be curious to see what LEGO does for it. And I think the most obvious one for LEGO to do is a remake of the Betrayal at Cloud City, or just Cloud City in general. Looking at the two sets that we've got of Cloud City, being the scale one back in 2003 was it, as well as the UCS version, both going for so much money right now on the aftermarket. And if LEGO was to release a new one, whether that be a playset, whether it be a UCS set, whether it be a mini scale set, maybe not a mini scale set, but I think that it would sell great. Fans love it. They would eat it up. Even if they don't even like the movie or like they don't even like Cloud City, they would buy it just for the hype that Cloud City brings. I have no doubt that it would sell great, and I think that Cloud City deserves a new updated playset. A UCS set, yeah, would be cool, but I think a playset would just be cooler, similar to the previous one, just updated with some cool new minifigures. I have no doubt it would sell great, and I would love to see it. And I think that it's one that definitely is a no-brainer for LEGO, and I think that we could definitely pretty likely see in the future. Now, for me, another one that I'd want to see them remake would be Palpatine's Arrest. I'm a big fan of Palpatine's Arrest. I know a lot of people think that it's overrated. Personally, I'm not on the same boat. I think it's a cool scene. I think this playset's sick, and I think it's definitely deserving of a remake. Yeah, maybe I'm alone here. I'm definitely not alone here. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing, but I would definitely like to see that. That might be in like my top sets for a remake, other than some of the more niche ones, like some of the Old Republic sets. But realistically, we're never going to get another set for the Old Republic, unless, the remastered version actually comes out, but that got canceled a while ago, and there's no hope in that coming back, unfortunately, as much as I would love it to. But I think there's a ton of different options for LEGO to remake sets or just to make new sets. There's so many cool things in the Star Wars universe that they could do. Well, unfortunately, with the amount of things that they can do versus the amount of sets that they're able to make, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be left in the dust. So let me know down below in the comments what you want to see LEGO make next. Mall asks, will we get a Vulture droid anytime soon, or should you buy an old one? And personally, I don't think that there is, based on the leaks for this year and what is shaping up for the rumors for next year, there's not a Vulture droid in sight. I'd hate to break it to you, but I do think that there are some great options on the aftermarket. I think some of those Vulture droid sets, first off, insanely underrated, and you can get them pretty cheap. When I got my the droid bomber or Vulture droid, I forget what it's called, I think I paid like $20 free shipping on eBay, which was a pretty good deal. You can find that pretty frequently too. It didn't have the box, it didn't have the directions, but still a pretty good deal. And I think you can definitely find one. And if you buy one now and a new Vulture droid comes out, it's like, there's not going to be a new one for at least 2 years, and that's like on the very like low side of things. It's going to probably be longer, unfortunately. I think the Vulture droid's great, and I would love to see an updated version, but just be looking at what LEGO has been making right now, we're probably not getting a standalone droid set for a while. I know we're getting the MTT, but that's probably going to be a one-off for quite some time. But I do think that you can't really go wrong with some of the previous Vulture droids. I think they're all great, and as long as you're getting a good deal, I think that they should stay as like something. It's not like if a new one comes out, those ones are just going to plummet in value. They're not crazy expensive. Some of the ones are a little bit expensive, but those are expensive because of the minifigures that they have and other stuff like that. So it will still hold that value if a new one comes out. So I think you can't really go wrong picking one up now. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck waiting for at least 2 years, maybe even more. And honestly, we might not ever get another Vulture droid. I do think that we will. I think it would be sick to get a new Vulture droid, especially in some sort of like versus pack, maybe some Interceptor versus the Vulture droid would be really cool. I just don't know if it's something that we're going to see anytime soon. So if I were you, I would start looking into finding one for a good price. Helmoth asks, how long until the inevitable remake of the Hoth era? Last time in 2021 with all of the different things, because you want to fill up your UCS AT-AT, and like you said, it's inevitable. I don't know if it'll be 2-3 years from now or 5-6 years from now, but it's gonna happen. It always happens. We always get these Hoth waves coming out, and it probably will coincide with some sort of anniversary of the movie or something like that, or Lego, will just run out of ideas and, just remake all the different Hoth stuff. But realistically, I don't think that the previous battle pack goes for too much on the aftermarket right now. I know it's retired, but I think you can still find it for retail or just buy the minifigures for like $3 a piece. If you are looking to fill that up on some, different websites and stuff like that, I'm sure that you could find them for pretty cheap. But if you are going to wait for that new Hoth wave to come out, like you said, inevitable, I have no doubt that it will be here within the next couple of years. Obi Bricks says, what are my thoughts on the LEGO Star Wars sets from 1999 to the early 2000s? Do I like them or do I think they look ugly? And do I have any? And the one that I have is this ATTE from 2002 or 2003, I forgot. But this one, such a great set. I did a review on it. It was a lot of fun. This one isn't sealed. This is just the box. I have the actual built version of it in a box in my closet. I have to display it. It's just with the old sets, they're a bit challenging. And I do think some of them are ugly. I think this one, has some charm, but even this build, it's from 2002, it's outdated. Of course, it's going to be a little bit ugly, but I do think that a little bit of ugliness is what makes them so charming. Now, yes, some are a lot uglier than others, and I think even some of them look really good. I think the Gungan sub looks amazing, especially for the time, but I think there are a lot of different people that either love them or hate them. I feel like it's the kind of set that, it's not, people aren't very in between on them. They're either very fond of them or they will just stay away from them. And yeah, I think I kind of used to be like that, but the more that I've seen them and the more that I've gotten used to them, the more that they've grown on me. It's not like I have that kind of nostalgia because they were from before the time I was born, but I do think they're really cool. I think the ATTE is sick and I'm a big fan of it. And there's a lot of other sets from the early 2000s that are on my list of sets that I want to get at some point. However, they're hard to find in good condition or just to find for a good price, but there are a lot of really cool sets from that era. And I think it's an era that is looked over quite a bit from Lego. A lot of fans, they just ignore that kind of stuff. But how could you? Look at the box art on this box. It is so sick, especially coming along to the back. You can see all of the different stuff. You have that, you get the alternate build with the huge mech, all the different play features with the Geonosis, scenery, and also at the bottom, you have all of the different sets showing off the battle. It's so cool. How could you not like the early sets? And I am a pretty big fan. I don't own a lot. Like I said, this is the only one that I own, but I am looking to expand my collection at some point in the future. That is going to do it for this episode of the Q&A. Thank you for everyone who asked a question, and thank you to everyone for watching this video. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, let me know down below in the comment section, and let me know if you have or have seen any versions of this Hera without the box, because I am very curious. This is the first time that I've talked about it, and also, I am sorry if I sound a little bit out of it. I'm a little sick right now, but working through it. I'm just a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit unenthusiastic, that is why, and I apologize. Hopefully I'll be better by the next video, but that is going to do it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and like I said earlier, any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew, signing out.